All right, welcome back, everybody. So today we're going to be showcasing the two extreme booster units. We have Riku Kai and Captain Commander Kai. I have Glitch Glorious on Riku and Avatar Mastery on Captain Commander. And I have Triple S and then Double S on Range and SPA, and I have Triple S on all stats for Captain Commander. They don't have their skill trees. I don't know if Rukia has her. She has the kills, but I think it reset it when I extreme boosted. But we'll be starting off with Rukia today. So we have 4.5 mil on placement with 3.89 SPA, and then she also has Frostbite. So her starting damage is 6.45, so she's doing 10 mil, 10.9 mil on placement. So for her passives, so we have Deadly Cold. Whenever attacking a freezing enemy, reduce this unit's damage by 1% per hit, so a cap of minus 50%. At minus 50% damage, the set damage is changed to minus 99% and plus 75% range. You also gain the Blizzard status effect on top of Frostbite, and the most mode lasts for a minute. After the minute passes, Rukia loses all the buffs. She does not lose damage for 30 seconds, so like a little grace period, and then it just repeats this cycle. And then when you have below zero, whenever attacking an enemy under Blizzard effect, it applies freeze once the Blizzard melts. And after this passive activates 100 times, she unlocks her active ability, which is Total Code. So the way this, it probably won't happen for a minute, but the way this passive works, so as long as the enemy survives, so when it hits the enemies that have Frostbite on it, she gradually starts losing damage, and it'll just cycle between it to where she'll be at max damage, lose all her damage, max damage, and lose all her damage. So basically just an in and out cycle. So I think her attack effects are still the same as it was before. So we have it's below zero arena, just slightly bigger circle AoE. And the next one we have Kai Haka no Togami, which is full AoE, which is a very big AoE. Well, just on this map. Her range is only 73, so it's not the biggest. And then final upgrade. She's doing 1.14 bill every 6.37 seconds, and she's doing 1.66 bill with Frostbite. So she's doing around 2.7 bill, or 2.8 actually, 2.8 bill, which is actually a lot better. Honestly, personally speaking, I really like Rukia, so I probably will use her. The only issue is once this passive starts activating, her damage becomes almost nothing. So, because it's a minus 99%. So, um, I will have to come back. We'll check out Captain Commander next, but we'll come back to her thing in a second once I get the once they get high enough in health to where her passive can activate and I can use the ability. So we'll come back to that in a second. So next we have Captain Commander Kai. This is the first time I'm using this unit. I have never once gotten him. I just got him just for this update. So we are at 3.29 mil every 3.5 seconds. He starts off with Burn and Blaze. So he's doing, let's see, not the best at math, so I'm gonna have to pull out the handy dandy calculator. Let's see, 3.29 mil, 120%. So let's see what passes we got. First Flame, no rotation. We have Yamamoto is not rotated during placement. On attack, he applies Burn plus Blaze, which we see here. When attacking 10 plus enemies, he also applies Mutilate, so his damage is even higher when he attacks more than 10 enemies. Interesting. Unyielding Inferno rotated once. Yamamoto is rotated one time during placement. On attack, apply Blaze, immune to debuffs and all negative effects. If Yamamoto is debuffs, etc., gain not the etc. Gain plus 20% damage and apply Sunburn on every attack for the next 5 attacks. And then Ashen Legend rotated twice. On attack, apply Burn. On takedown, 30% chance to summon the enemy as a corpse. The corpse HP is equal to 70% of killed enemy's HP. The bosses spawn instead at 10% of their HP. And then if you rotate him thrice. My bad. On attack, he applies Rupture, and when attacking the strongest enemy on the map, also apply Burn to that enemy. That enemy takes plus 25% damage from Yamamoto. Okay, so the way his works is based off of when you place him. So if we rotate him once, now he's on West. So this means he only applies Blaze, immune and debuffs, and all negative effects. 2% applies Sunburn every attack for the next 5 attacks. So he should be. Well, they're all dying instantly, so it doesn't really matter. So next, let's look at the second one. Now he's on South, so he's just applying Burn, and then he has a chance to summon them, which it looks like he's summoning them over there. And then yeah, so then now we just need to rotate him 3 times. Now we have East, and now he does Rupture, which honestly, I think eh, oh, it's a little iffy because 120, 150, I don't know if it compares to the amount of damage he does with Rupture. The thing is, Rupture requires your SPA to like be at 14 and 14.1 in order for it to deal its maximum amount of damage. So, but for just the sake of this, we'll keep him on his first one. So, all right, so let's go with he's ground on placement too, which is not the best. So we have Hell Soldiers. Now he's hybrid, circle AoE. Then we have North of Inferno. Now he's full AoE. And then he doesn't have any sort of ability, so it's just he's DLT passive. So he's heavily reliant on which one you use. All right. So I was running the numbers for Captain Commander's DPS. So if you use him on his first form, right, that has Blaze and Burn, his total DPS is 2.6 billion. But if you also take into mutilate, shut up. If you also take into account that he also applies mutilate when he does 10 plus enemies, then obviously it goes higher than that. But if you use his third form, his 3 times placement, with Rupture, he's doing 2.7 billion, and he also applies Burn when he's attacking the strongest enemy on the map. But and then that enemy also takes plus 25% damage. So both forms like have similar DPS outputs, but if I had to choose one of the two, I think First Flame is probably better than Scorching Edict. Um, Ashen Legion isn't bad because obviously you summon the enemies, but it's only a percentage amount of health. And then the rotated ones, you only get the sunburn if he's debuffed. So if you're not doing a game mode where he gets debuffed, then you don't really gain the extra damage plus sunburn. So and you only do blaze, which you're better off having either that one or this one. So yeah, that's that for his form. All right, y'all, we're back in nightmare mode. So we have Rukia losing damage now. She's just about getting there. So we'll go ahead and start seeing the cycle pop off. So once it hits 50%, and there we go, now we're at 99. So now we're only doing 11.4 mil, Frostbite, and Blizzard. So, I mean, they do get slowed down at least since you have Frostbite plus Blizzard activating, so they get basically stunned. And then, obviously, then you have to wait for the thing to wear off, and then her stats reset. And now we have Total Cold. So, Total Cold, you apply Blizzard to all enemies on the map for 45 seconds. Frozen enemies become permanently slowed by 20% plus 5% per hit from Rukia during this time, with a cap of 60% total slow. And if cast while under 5 base stocks, you do plus 50% range and minus 30% SPA. So, um, I could just try to lose one base stock, but we'll leave it as is. So now she's just gonna keep rotating in and out of damage. So she'll go back to her billion, and then this will update back to 1.6, and then she'll just keep doing that in and out. So just apply that, applies Blizzard to all of them. Yeah, that's basically it. And yeah, this is the one issue I have with this is the fact that she rotates in and out of damage. Like I think having Frostbite and Blizzard is like, yeah, they get stunned for a bit, and the thing only lasts for what is it? It lasts for 60 seconds. So like know. It depends on what game mode you're doing. Like if you have other things that are like in another team where it's like they slow or just basically stunning. Like if you use her with free run, I think it'd be fine because then they have the little walk back plus their stun thing. Then it gives you enough time to use your damage with her. But um, I'm not too sure how I feel about it. But overall, I think they're both fine. Um, I do I do kind of prefer him better. I do like I like the Captain Commander better. But that'll be it for the showcase. I think this was the last video I needed, so I've showcased every unit from this update. This was just the last two I needed. So, um, so yeah, I'll go ahead and see you on the next one whenever the game decides to update again, or if there's other things they add in the meantime. So.